Hello everybody, here we are on project 2. As you'll know by now, you'll have your kit. We're making a table runner this month. We're going to start with 2 blocks, the 2 blocks that are at the end of the table runner. We're doing our videos, tutorials from now on in 2 sections, so you can do bite-sized pieces, you can do a bit, then we'll move on to the next bit. So these are the 2 blocks at either end of your runner. The block itself, pretty gorgeous block. I don't know the name of it. It's a variation of a quilt I've seen, a Civil War quilt I've seen, a block that was in there, and I just liked the way it worked out, so had a little play with it, and this is the block we're going to make. It's much easier than it looks. Trust me.
I was going to say, it looks quite difficult.
No.
But I don't think it is.
No, it's not. Straight lines, nice bit of patchwork. So it's made up in a section. So this is the centre, and we're going to do that section first. So we need that made before we can carry on any further. So don't think about the rest yet. We're going to do the middle section first. So on the piece of paper here, I've got all the pieces that make up that middle section. And as you can see, they don't look quite right yet. So what we're going to do, this section here will make up this little flying geese unit there. So it relates to the quilt here, so we've got to make 4 of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, that we're going to put around there. So I'm just going to show you how to do one, in case. I know we've got beginners, we've got all sorts of people doing this, so I want to cover everything, and if there's anything I miss out, just drop me an email. These pieces here, these are your 2-inch squares. I want you to draw a diagonal line across corner to corner. Then you take your rectangle and you place your square on it. All these pictures are in the pattern, so don't worry. And you can stop me and start me. And we're going to stitch on that line there. These edges have got to be level, 1, 2 and 3. So we're going to stitch there on the line. Okay, so I'm going to go to this little section. And my machine doesn't want to start, but it will start. Okay, behave please, got people watching today. So, on the line. Back to our cutting mat, because we need to remove this part of the fabric that we've put on. So if you can pop your rule, you can do it with scissors. If you've only got scissors, it's fine. And you're going to cut across there, so we're going to take off the excess fabric.
How far away from the line is that?
1/4 inch.
Okay.
If it was a bit less or a bit more, it wouldn't matter, because this is the accuracy. That's where you're getting your accuracy. Now I'm going to press that away from me. So it was normal, away from me, like so. Lovely. I've loved making this block. It's been really interesting. Pop the next piece on the opposite end of your rectangle, like so, and we're going to stitch across that line there. I find it easier to start at this point rather than an outside edge. Your machine might like it a different way. There's no right or wrong. You can start at either end of this drawn line. Entirely up to you. Out it comes. Trim off again. Like so. I haven't talked too much about cutting yet, but you'll notice I've got my blade closed every single time I leave my cutter. People who know me will be thinking, oh, here she goes again. Press away from me. And as you can see, that becomes the same as that piece there. So we're underway here, and I've speeded up my process by making some up already. You with me, Mark?
Yep, I was concentrating on moving the piece of paper.
He wasn't with me, I
was
could see it.
doing 2 jobs at once.
Just a man, remember, just a man. Pop that onto there. So you can see I'm replacing the top section there. And now the bit I've got here I'm going to put in there, and then my 2 final pieces that were in the piece of paper, on the piece of paper, go there. So now I'm going to make a row. So I pick up one piece, turn it over, line it up with the edge, like so. Line it up on this edge, and we're going to stitch 1/4 inch across there. Finish. We're going to press the seam away from the geese unit towards this edge that's got no seams in. So press away, no ironing, press beautifully away, like so. Put it back in place, because that's, we always know we're doing it right then. Flip that onto there, same process again. Back to the machine, 1/4 inch. Again, press away to the square, like so. Then I'll pick this piece up because we need to join that onto there now. So flip it over. Now what you can see is what we always try and do if we can, and that's to spread the bulk of our seams. I've already pressed the section I've got, and that's explained in the pattern. I've just pressed this section out like so. See that, look?
Yeah.
And that section at the back's going the other way. That's quite a good view, isn't it?
Yeah, got that.
One that way, one that way. And you can see I've butted the seams up so they'll create a lovely join. If you want to pin, you can. If you want to tack, you can. You know, I'm a rebel. No pins for me. But there's nothing wrong with that. You know, when I started doing patchwork, I used pins. But now I'm a bit more of a rebel. So I'm just lining up my seam here and popping it so it joins. I don't keep sewing and hope it does. I sort of, this just fits, but if it didn't, I'd ease it a little bit so that it did, locking the seams together. So all we've done, we've made one flying geese unit. You've got to repeat that so that you've got 4. I'm going to press this out like so. You're going to repeat it so you've got 4, and then you're joining rectangles and squares together to give you that lovely middle of your quilt block. Beautiful. Now, we're going to go on to these little sections here. I'll move that over so you can see fully what I'm doing. They look quite complicated, but trust me, they're not. The first thing you're going to do, you've got some 2 3/8 inch squares in your packet. You need to draw a line, diagonal line across here. So make sure you're using the 2 3/8, as long as you, well, you can't have used them beforehand because they wouldn't have fit. And we're going to stitch 1/4 inch either side of that drawn line. Okay, I'll do that. I know we did it last time, but some new people joined us for this month, so we've always got to recap. And also, if you've only just joined us this month, you can still see last month's project in the tutorial section, so you can always go back and look at other things as well if you want to. So I've gone down and I've turned around and come back up. Then I'm going to cut that on the drawn line.
Take the hood away, mate.
Lost my cutter. You see how that's beautiful 1/2 inch? If you put your 1/4 there, you've got half, you can see, because that's 1/4 and 1/4. So, is that okay, Mark?
Yep, perfect.
Away, cut away from me. I've opened my blade, just cutting away from me, closing my blade. Once you've done that, you've got 2 of these sections, and you're going to press it towards the dark fabric. Okay. So you'll repeat that with all of your pile of 4, and that will give you 8 of these little pieces, because here's your other little piece there. So we've got 2 already. You'd repeat it with the rest of the process. And what that does, that gives you your piece that's going to go into here, like so. So when we get to this stage, I'm going to move these out of the way. And I'm going to position this on here, following what I've got underneath. You'll have the pattern to see what to do and everything. This will go onto here. That's what we've just made. And then this goes onto here, and that goes onto there. Okay, all these pictures are in the pattern. So put them into position and you can see them better there like that. So when these have gone together, they will fit, fingers crossed, onto that half square triangle. Right, we're going to put this over there and we're going to join it onto this edge like so. lining up at the top edge with points overhanging on your diagonals. The bottom corner doesn't overhang, and you stitch. And we're going to press away from us like so. Put it back on your
Yeah, I just want to see the bit overhang on the top.
Yeah, overhang on the top, level at the bottom.
Yeah.
Pop it back in place, and then you're going to put this one onto here like so, in line
with
there.
overhang on the top again.
Overhanging on your diagonals. So line it up and stitch. So we've made a half square triangle, which I'm sure most of you have already done, which is easy. And then we've put 3 triangles onto it to give you this corner piece that goes there. And I mean, it really is simple. Is it easier than you thought, Mark?
It is actually, just come together
really
better
easily.
and quicker than I thought it was going to.
Yeah. Then you flip that over and you join that onto there. Don't forget, if we're clipping our ears, clip your ears. I did clip mine. I haven't now while I'm demoing because of time and all that. Again, we're pressing away from us towards the solid piece. I wouldn't press it back onto that because you're making too much bulk, and you press away from you. And you've got 1/2 of this section made, like so. Got another one here. Twizzle him round so it fits.
Other way.
Other way. Yes. Testing, just testing you,
Good
Mark.
job I'm here.
It is. As always, darling. We know that. Part your pieces. Make 8 of these in total, which, I mean, that didn't take long at all. Then the only pieces you should have left are these, and these go in your corners. Those are your squares. And honestly, that's it. Join your rows and your block is complete. Pop my middle back because I've already done him. And you can see, like you see it like that, looks a bit scruffy, they always do, but once you've joined it all together, and all I've done is joined rows like I did on the last bit. And there, give it a good press and make another one. And I'll see you in the second half.